Today marks President Trump's 100th day of his second term in office. In that time, he has promised to crack down on immigration by signing 10 executive orders on the issue in just the first week in office, as well as promising mass deportations and tighter border security. Since January 20th, more than 139,000 people have been deported and more than 66,000 undocumented people have been arrested. That's according to his administration. The Trump administration says they're aggressively efforting to deport 1 million people in his first year in office. This has created stress in our immigrant communities and an increased demand in immigration legal services. So joining me now to discuss services and resources is Ellen Dumaniel, the Executive Director of the Immigration Institute of the Bay Area. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me.
First, can you tell us about the demand that you've seen here in the Bay Area since Trump took office this time?
Sure. So the Immigration Institute of the Bay Area, IIBA, is the largest nonprofit provider of immigration legal services in Northern California with 7 offices, and what we've seen in 6 counties. And what we've seen since it feels like a lifetime ago, but less than 101 days, is double the demand. So for example, in January of 24, the IIBA fielded 9,000 incoming calls. In January 2025, we fielded 18,000 calls. So I think that's really illustrative of the demand for our services at this time and the fear in the community.
Yeah, of course. We've covered that here on ABC7. I want to ask you, when people come to your organization for help, what are people's biggest concerns? I know they vary. And are you at this point able to help them in most cases?
We're able to help many people, and I think a huge fear for people is being separated from families, being separated, being deported. I think what we can do is provide them with accurate information. We can quell rumors and we can give them facts. And yes, we still are able to help a lot of immigrants that come through our doors.
But I want to know, these latest executive orders, how do they impact you? Are they making your job more difficult in the work that you're doing?
Yes, yes, they are. I think the climate of fear that has been created by this administration is, I'm a privileged white woman who I know I feel fearful. So if I were an immigrant at this point in time in our country, I think I would be terrified. So it's not hard to imagine that immigrant communities are fearful, regardless of their legal status. I mean, even lawful permanent residents have reason to fear under this administration.
Can you dig into that a little bit? How so?
Well, we've seen, what's happened with lawful permanent residents who have been picked up, not charged with any crime, certainly not convicted, and have been deported. I think there's been a lot of coverage in that, and one of the things that we're excited about is that we're going to pivot this Thursday and celebrate immigrants, which I think is what the country should do, is recognize the contributions that immigrants make every single day.
Yeah, we'll talk about that event that you have coming up here in just a moment. But for anyone that's watching, should people living or working in sanctuary jurisdictions like San Francisco, Santa Clara County, should people have peace of mind, or has that all changed now?
I think the notion of a community coming together to create a sanctuary city creates some peace of mind, but with this administration, it's really the rule of law seems to have been, it has been violated. So I don't know. I mean, I think that what's more important is that communities are coming together to support immigrants and support immigrant communities because they recognize how valuable immigrants are to this country.
And people know where to get help and to know their rights as well, which is the work
Yes.
that you do. Okay, so let's talk about that event that you have this week. Can you tell us a little bit about it?
Sure. It's a bright light on a relatively dim horizon these days. IABA is celebrating our 9th annual Comedy Night for Immigrant Rights at the Presidio Theater. We have a great lineup, Sheng Wang and Bassem and Jenny Yang is going to be our MC, and we're just very excited. And I think one of the things I was thinking about earlier today, at a time when, I think it's pretty easy to feel like you really can't make a difference. Small things and big things, but small things like coming together in community to support immigrants is taking a really meaningful step. So I'd invite people that feel that they can't make a difference to come be with us and make a difference.
All right, and your website is right there for everyone to go to. Thank you so much for your time. We appreciate it.